Oh, that's true. Let's look at.
It is 6:30, so the meeting for the Riverbend HOA Board of Directors is now convened. We have one. Please state their name for the record.
Noelle Steen.
Perry Taglienti.
Bob speaks out, and I do not know where Merrick's at. Okay, before we start, I just want to let everybody know what happened in Medina Center Sunday. There was a lightning strike. Okay? It fried 2 of the 3 panels that control the access system. Circuit boards are fried, that's why the system's not working. And it fried some other equipment too in the office. So the individual MPH will be out Tuesday afternoon to try to fix it all. Because he had to work circuit boards, router switches, ports. So hopefully we get it all fixed on Tuesday. So that's what happened on that one.
Quick question, Bob.
Sure.
To get into the gym in the morning, tomorrow, coming through the gazebo.
What the CDD's decided to do, since the access system isn't working, they'll only going to allow the access when the pool monitor is here.
Okay.
And I don't know, what time does the pool monitor do here, Max? 3 o'clock tomorrow? About 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay? And that, just for security.
Yep, that's fine.
All right. So, comments from members about agenda items. Any comments from members about agenda items? Going once. Going twice. So, okay. So, first item is the minutes for July 23rd. I read them over, I didn't see any changes. You're good? Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
Oh, sir.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Minutes are approved. Okay, treasurer's report. Noel has been out of action, so I did treasurer's report. July positive. I'll give everybody the short version. For the month of July, the revenues were higher by $14,000 to plan, and those July dues were due in July 15th, so we had $14,000 better than planned. Wage fees were up a little bit for all the prior ones that were paying, now with the new policy. No venue center income, that's on. Application fees were lower, investigative reports were lower, fine income was lower. But overall, it was $14,400 better than planned. For expenses, expenses were $14,000 better also. Office administrative was, $2,499 higher. That was because we are now having to send out the registered certified letters for fine review. And so that's why that's up like $1,200, then we have a special membership. Problem is, there's a timing delay between when we get charged and membership pays for the letter. Okay, application fees were better, lower, administrative postage was just lower.
So let's go back.
Yeah,
So you said mailing, certified letters, $1,200. So every time we send out big batches, what's going to do?
every time we send out a letter for notice of fine hearing, it's $10 charge for every letter, because it's got to be certified. Now, we charge the membership $15, but they don't pay it the same month.
But
It's passed directly on to the homeowner.
Yes, but there's a time difference on collection,
Okay.
is what it amounts to. And then we had mailing for the,
I just want to make sure you clarify that.
Yeah. and we had mailing, but it showed up different than when I had it planned, that's all. Other big item was the Riverbend Post Administrative was better. There just wasn't a covered plan. Social expense was $1,500 better, but what is not in here yet is the $800 charge for the 4th of July party, because they had to go through a different check system. That'll show up next month, so that really should be $700 better, but it'll show up next month. Legal fees were lower. Repair and maintenance is now CDD, lower purchase of supplies. Okay, pool contract, cafe expense is lower because the CDD reimburses some of the money they owe us for. Pool, CDD, admin services were just lower. Maintenance staff is now CDD. On-site is lower. This is the timing difference when I counted the weeks out. I just counted the weeks, so some months will be short a week, others will be over a week. They all work out there. And security was way better, but that was because we got reimbursed for 2 months' work from the CDD, and the check register for the cops that were paid in July didn't make it into Meritech in time for closing their books. So that will be showing up in August, and that's about $1,000. And then telephones just up. But overall, we were better by $29,000. Year to date, real fast, dues are ahead by $40,000 the plan. Application fees are down, investigative reports are down from plan. Finding income is a little better by about $1,200. Miscellaneous worse by about $7,000. Office administrative is $4,000 worse, but that's due to no such direct request of 630, special note of 2,400, and all the notices going out for the fine hearing. Lease applications are better just because there's less. Postage is better by about 300. Social is better by 2,700, but take 800 out of that. Okay. Insurance is just better because of the booking. Legal fees are a bit higher for the retainer. You can see it up there. Homeowner accounts foreclosures, because we have foreclosed on 4 accounts. Professional tax fees, I'm still waiting for the bill for the audit. I don't know where it's at. I'm tired of asking for it. And most everything else is now CDD responsibility. The only one that's major would be, actually, no, the security again, but that's because the billing is going to be next month. So far this year, we're at 7,600. This good news was stopped because we signed the agreements, so now we'll be paying half the pool monitors, we'll be paying rent, and picking up all the security controls. 76,000. Okay. But we're not going to have as good news every month now because we're going to be paying all the security control, half the pool monitors, and rent. And we knew that was coming, it was just a matter of time. Okay, so are there any questions on the real fast? Yes.
Will the electrical strike and all that stuff be paid by insurance?
I don't know. I mean, that's CDD issue. I have no idea. That's a question for the CDD administration. Okay, any other questions on the budget we got? All right, next order of business is motion to amend February 26th minutes. What happened was that was February. We had Dan Hilton here, the HOA attorney, to answer all the questions on the November, December election. And best way to plan some house amendment. All of us looked at the minutes, all of us didn't notice that it wasn't in there. So we're amending the minutes accordingly for that, okay? And basically it reads, the HOA attorney Dan Hilton took questions from the membership concerning the determination of and calculation of the quorum for the Riverbend HOA annual meeting, membership meeting held in November 2017, December 2017. The HOA attorney explained and demonstrated that the determination of the quorum requirement and calculation of the quorum for the above meeting was in accordance with the governing documents of the association and Florida Statute 720. That was the final result of the meeting. So, is there a motion to amend?
I thought you were making the motion. Did you just make it?
Pardon?
Did you just make the motion?
You can't.
I can't.
You can't.
Oh, you can't? I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Is there any comments from the floor? No comments from the floor? All those in favor of adopting the motion to amend, say by saying aye. Opposed? Nobody? Passes 4-0. Next item up. Resolution concerning collection of HOA accounts. Okay, this was tabled last month based on a question from Perry. It has to do with the new collection policy for HOA member accounts that are in the rear of their assessments and items. Perry's question dealt with paragraph 7. We wanted an item included to cover anything that's not in these 8 categories. But according to Florida statute, as Dan explained to me, everything we bill has to be in one of these 8 categories. So there is no other category. It has to fall in one of these 8 by state statute. So there is no need for a cover. I will go browse it down slowly so you guys can read it. Just let me know when I can scroll. Some people still read. Can I scroll? Okay.
All of those are going to be on all of the things that are paid.
That's how any payments received are applied. They're applied to these items in this order. So it depends what you have on your ledger. If you don't have that, it won't remember. It's just how it's applied. And this is pretty boilerplate on all the HOAs. I mean, okay, so are there any questions from the board? Okay. Is there a motion? Oh, I'm sorry.
How did the board come to the determination that 18% of interest was the program?
That's the maximum allowed route under statute. And it's pretty boilerplate with every association.
That's curious.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to accept this resolution, the collection policy for the accounts.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 4-0. Okay. Resolution for membership of inspection records. Now, we passed this motion last month. However, according to Dan, there were some changes in the legal procedures concerning it, some rulings, and didn't get into it with him, so he had to rewrite it. The main changes is paragraph 5. The verbiage had to be changed. So we changed paragraph 5 accordingly. Okay?
How did you change it?
I don't remember, I read it, and I think it's, the last paragraph is different. The last sentence of the paragraph is different. And then he had to add in paragraph 7, items, I believe it was GH9. It was either GH9 or GH9. And those were the only differences.
I still didn't find where, on number 5, go back up, where it says that the person that is asking for the records incurs the expense of the association for personnel to retrieve and make the records. It doesn't say that in there. It
Guess
says,
what? Yeah, 720, The association may adopt reasonable written rules governing the frequency, time, information, notice, records to be inspected, and the inspection will hang out the park on shorter time. Demonstrate any proper purpose for the inspection. State any reason for the inspection or limit across the owner's right to inspect records to less than 1 8-hour business day per month. The association may impose fees to cover the cost of providing copies of the official records, including the cost of copying and the cost required for personnel to retrieve and copy the records if the time is spent retrieving and copying the records exceeding 1/2 hour.
For copying.
No, it says retrieve. The word retrieve is in here. That's what that is.
Okay.
Okay, that's right. We're at item C.
Are these all going to be on the website?
Yeah, they're all on the website. Okay. So that's what changed. So are there any other questions from the board?
Does that have to have a motion?
Yes. I mean, it's just because of the changes in the operation of the law, they made a modification. Yeah, they're just minor changes, but,
Other than that, can I ask a question?
yeah.
Where are the documents stored? They're stored offsite. right?
Chris started off saying.
Way too much to have here.
It's 50 boxes, about 40 boxes, and it's stored at one of the Veritex off-site storage facilities that's secure and everything. I mean, there's no way because they got to be secure. So,
How far away is it?
it's a good 30 miles, 40 miles.
Could be looking around, something like that. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, it's a climate control facility used by a large amount of VHOA and CDDs.
They probably still control stuff.
Yeah. So is there a motion?
I have a question.
Sure.
So, I'm kind of like also reading this, so where it says, so the cost required for personnel to retrieve and copy, that's
Right.
not like, and does not the exclusive word here, right? It's not like both.
No.
No,
Right.
because this says here that, this says in 720, that we can't charge them if they want to take pictures or electronic type, or bring their own scanner to scan documents and stuff.
Okay.
And they give them 25 copies free. They can get it.
Right.
Okay.
And then-
But the cost of retrieving
cost of
all the
retrieving.
boxes
Right.
Yeah.
and sending them back, we can charge.
Okay. Just want to clarify.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it possible for us to go to that facility to review the documents?
Um,
Or do we have to come here?
I gotta remember 720. 720 basically says here, or there's a mileage circle, so it has to be within a certain mileage of the center for the records.
Here's the problem too, Andrew, somebody from the HOA would also have to be there, because there's personal private and sensitive data that's in some of those records. So you can't just let somebody go up there and say, hey, have at it, and go through 40 boxes worth of stuff.
Now, Pilka's office is within that distance circle. So any other future record requests will probably be done at his office. The boxes will go to his office, and then HOA record will be there with the return. Because actually, it is pretty much in the middle of where the boxes are and where we are.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's kind of like in the middle.
Do you guys know any other HOA that charges just for the time of person, for the personnel?
Yeah, this is kind of like what we're playing on VHOA.
Can you give a couple examples of different HOAs that do it? or-
No, I mean, this is just, Dan does this for all his HOAs.
Yeah.
Basically the same as it was before.
Yeah, Yeah, there's just some minor changes because of some operational changes in the law, some moving or something, I don't know.
How do we ensure that the, like, social security numbers, driver's license numbers and all that, like,
The records would be filtered before they are delivered or reviewed. And that's the good thing to do with the attorney's office too, because if you have a question, they can just answer whether it should or should not be. They're right there.
Can I ask it? Just a question. The only records you can access are your own personal ones. You can't access, you can access records of anybody in the
No,
HOA?
no. Well, let us say you wanted to review all the financial documents of the HOA.
Okay, but not
Okay.
my next door neighbors,
No.
no one there.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Second.
We have that motion.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Okay. All right, so Noel made the motion, Eric seconded it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No, passes 5-0. Okay, next item on the agenda is homeowner suspensions. Last year's election had questions because of the suspensions, okay? And we're still suffering with some of them when it came to Vanguard. So I'm going to suggest that the board nullify and vacate any and all suspensions at this point in time, so we can start with a clean slate.
And I know I shouldn't ask this, but do we know how many that is? And what the dollar amount is?
No, we don't at this point. I mean, they know the ones that are, well, they do. I just didn't ask for the figure. I apologize, okay? But there's some that are carryovers from like 2 years ago, a year ago, and I think we ought to just start with a clean slate. Just nullify and vacate them all, and then start with a clean slate so there can be no problems in this upcoming HOA election.
Well, the election aside, going forward, are we ever going to go back to suspending? We can just suspend use privileges. The only thing we can do is suspend voting rights.
Voting
Get
rights.
back to that.
Right.
Would you-
I personally don't see the purpose of it because those who aren't paying more than often just don't even
No,
vote.
I know where we're headed. I just want to make sure everybody here understands.
Yeah.
But you said for this election, we're just talking about going forward.
And
For
going
everything,
forward.
we're just going to do it now, and we're not going to go back in December and come back with a different policy.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I agree with you, they're not paying their dues, they're not going to prohibit it.
Do we have anywhere in the contract with CBD that we can suspend? Because now the CBD
No,
is
CBD would not permit that. So we can't do anything about it.
we can't suspend it.
There are privileges for the United States.
Yeah.
All we can is suspend voting rights. Okay?
Does this mean that you're going to allow people that haven't paid to vote this fall, or is it just for now till the voting day is going to be done?
No, those are two different issues.
If their suspension is lifted, then there's nothing that's keeping them from running for office or voting in the election.
They're not, okay, they're kind of like two different things. According to the statute, if you owe money that's more than 90 days, you can't, whether you're suspended or not. This one, anything else.
Are you sure that's the way it reads?
You have to
That's
be
90 days?
You have to be a member in good standing.
But you have at the $500, if it's not more than 90 days old, you're saying that they...
Yeah, because it's a 90-day period in the statute.
Yeah, you have to prepare also
By the day of the cutoff.
a day before.
Okay.
I mean, it's not, it's a 90-day cutoff here.
But you're saying they can't vote this coming election?
Yeah, they did vote this coming election.
We still owe the money.
And they still owe the money.
And then that's when you start,
And the thing is, the people who owe the money, the big money, don't vote. They don't, they just don't do anything. So
Yeah,
they're not-
that wasn't a big stick at all.
Yeah.
No leverage.
And I really, I mean, after all the misconception and problems of the last election, the year before that, I think we just need to start with a clean slate. And there's no question about what the quorum number is, and there'd be no problems with
so when are you starting the clean slate, January?
it. Now, on this motion.
Right now.
So then if they do incur fines though, if it's 90 days, they can't vote, right?
No, we have to suspend them first. The board has to suspend their voting rights. If we don't suspend voting rights, they can vote.
So what we're saying is that we're going to abandon that practice, but if somebody is 90 days past paying what they owe, they're not eligible to run.
By statute.
Well,
That's the statute. Yes,
Are you setting a precedent for a lot of some people under this condition?
no, you're missing the point, okay? If we, it's either don't suspend voting rights, or if you do, you have to suspend everybody's voting rights who meet a certain criteria. You just can't do it on an individual basis.
So, okay, so what is the problem? If it says they owe the fine, their voting rights should be suspended, what is?
Now, actually, fines don't enter into its assessments.
Okay, what, if they're under, if they're under duress, then they should not be voting, okay?
If we suspend them.
Okay. So
you
why?
need dues.
That is the rule, why would you waive that rule? I'm losing.
Because we've been having problems every year in the elections, and people questioning what the quota figure is. If there's nobody suspended from voting, the quota figure, the quorum figure is very simple, 76.
So if that's the only thing you can do, and they don't incur that particular issue, what issue do they incur?
Nothing.
There's no consequence.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing this board can do.
Lien foreclosures.
I mean, oh yeah, I mean, if they owe money, they can have liens, foreclosures, okay, debt service, that's on the collection side, okay, to get the money. As far as the voting rights, the board has to suspend voting rights, based on,
Isn't that within, isn't that within the requirements of the law that their voting rights are suspended?
no, it's that we can, we do not have to.
Does it say shall or may?
Make.
Bob,
I know, nobody will do it, but yeah. Actually, there's two clauses in the statute. Can be.
It says can.
There's two clauses in the
That
statute.
wasn't one of the options, I think.
You know, one is if you want to suspend rights that are less than 90 days, which is a very heavy burden, you know, things to do is quite a bit. And then those over 90 days. But it's up to the board to suspend voting rights.
Bob, go back to that, where you said it had to be 90 days. Eliminate somebody from running. It isn't. You're
Oh, it isn't?
a person who is delinquent in the payment of any fine or other monetary obligation to the association on the day that he or she could last nominate himself or herself or be nominated for the board may not seek election to the board. Okay?
Okay.
And his or her name shall not be listed. So if anybody owes the association, anybody, at the time that they come out.
I stand corrected.
Because I will not, one of the things fine with you, not fine with you, but the election board looked at to make sure they were eligible, right?
That is one of the purposes of the nominating committee.
Nominating.
When somebody submits their nomination, they have to go through all the requirements to see if they meet the requirements to be eligible to be on the ballot. That's-
So is this change a result of not having accurate record transfer from the?
Some of it is, there isn't too much of that left. okay? But every year, we've had a challenge as to what the quorum amount is.
Because we have so many people showing up. Yes.
There's always a challenge to the quorum amount, and a lot of it revolves around suspensions, when they were paid and everything. And I just want to avoid all those issues this year, and we just null and void all the suspension. That makes the quorum calculation very simple, 76.
How can you do that when it says in the bylaws that you can't do that, that people are running?
That's for running, not for voting. Those are two different things.
So if they owe when they're running,
In the suspension,
If they owe,
somebody that you're lifting and fines as
if they
well.
owe, they can't fund.
Everybody's talking over each other. Could you repeat your
There's
question?
no chance someone's going to interpret the lifting of their suspension of privileges to mean that their fine is also been lifted?
No, because we'll be getting a letter from the attorney saying you're going to pay your fine.
Okay.
Or you're getting a lien, or
Because the only privilege that we can live is the voting rights.
so how are you going to word that? You making a motion to do that, or what's you doing?
Yes.
How is
So we have questions on the floor.
So I understand the challenges that people have.
Right.
But did the process you currently have in place able to present information to counteract those challenges? Or we just, for instance, do you have?
Wait, here's what happens. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter if the attorneys say it's valid. There's a little group out there that no matter what you say it's wrong. Okay? And this way it's clean.
I agree, but what not really changing the whole rule for a small fee?
Well, you know what? Last year, it amounted to 8 votes, 8 items on the quorum. 8. Because if we suspend 25 people, that's only 2.5 for the quorum count, this is 10%. Okay? So it was like 8 or 9 people last year, if I remember right, the quorum count was down because of it.
I understand your philosophy, obviously, I don't work down, I think we should change the rule for a small fee, but I understand your philosophy.
Yeah, but that actually incurs expenses, right? Because we had been arrangements to do repeat voting and all this sort of stuff. So that would be avoided.
Have to send a mail.
Yeah, all that sort of thing.
Are you saying
You
the notice
do
of
this.
suspension?
Yeah, if we do this,
Yeah.
you won't have to worry about any of that stuff.
No, not really. We still can do this and people, and still not have a quorum.
Right.
Okay, if
Yeah.
that
Right. It's just that there can no longer be challenges to the quorum calculation. That happens every year.
Well, the challenge had nothing to do with just the suspension. It was because we voted in 2 different weeks and people didn't show up. The first week thought their votes were being counted.
Frank, that was part of it. There was also a challenge.
That was the majority. That was the majority. The suspensions had nothing, very little to do with it.
No. There was a lot of challenges on the suspension too.
I think any way that the HOA can make it clearer and make it to where everyone understands what exactly is, even a little bit easier to understand, then that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because if there are a lot of questions about a lot of things and they start making sense by saying, look, we're going to make this part very clear, then that makes sense to me. They're trying to make it as transparent as possible.
I mean, if you
This is
suspend
something
50
that
people,
gets-
it's 5 people on the quorum
I mean,
count.
you're never gonna predict every single thing that can happen.
Right.
What they're doing is they're at least trying to limit, the confusion by giving you a good, baseline. This is how much we're gonna look at. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
If I was sitting out, a member looking this way, the question I would have is one that I asked at the beginning. How many are we talking about in the dollar amount? I think that should be part of the record before we vote on this. And we put this off until September, there's no harm in it, correct?
Correct.
So when we do the September and they come into how many people are into that suspension mode?
Okay.
And so forth. So we know exactly, it would be part of the record, everybody here will understand what it is. Because if I was sitting out there, I would want to know that answer.
Would we be notifying people by mailing Everyone.
In effect, they would be notified when they receive their packet with the proxy and the ballot.
So that's,
They'd be notified.
So I'll make a motion that homeowner suspensions be tabled to the September meeting.
I'm fine with that, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Okay, so it's tabled till next month. Okay, purchase of a microphone. I think we need to buy a microphone for the iPads, either when Phil uses his or we use the one in the office so that the audio is better for the video.
Well, I've been getting pretty good video on that. I mean,
Have you?
yeah.
Okay, because when I went out there a couple times to view it and listen to it, it wasn't very good.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I did,
The microphone I can donate.
do you?
Yes.
Okay, well then that's
I
that.
don't use it.
Who has that?
It's a professional recording microphone.
Or you just send it to them.
You can sit it, it's a Shure microphone, it's a good brand.
Yeah, that's Sure Brothers? They used to work for them.
Yeah, they're awesome, that's all.
Yeah. Okay, status HOA board elections.
can I ask a good question about?
Sure.
It's related to the microphone. Is there a way to like improve the acoustics of this giant square box in the room? I mean, like, getting a better microphone definitely helps, but I feel like.
The internal question since this building was built.
Yeah. All right, I just figured that.
That's just the whole, problem.
They have to put the graphics in the wall.
Yeah. Okay, status of HOA board elections. How are we doing tomorrow?
We're sending out the mailing and, September 14th is still our cutoff date for the self-nomination forms.
Okay.
So, we'll let you guys know. September 14th, yeah.
Okay.
In the mailing, unless I missed it, there was not a specific cutoff time, was there? Like 5 o'clock on the 20, or on the 14th, or 6, I don't think there was the exact time mentioned there.
No exact time, no.
Can we,
When you
So
leave
if
the
somebody
office.
walked in at 6 o'clock, then when the meeting would be back there. And it seems like we should have had a specific
so
time.
can we get a notice posted on the website?
Midnight?
Huh?
Midnight.
Yeah, that's-
This is gonna be
Close your business.
Just assume 5 p.m.
Close your business.
Close the business.
I think that was the assumption that we should assume that those kind of things.
Okay, status of RSVP for HOA events. I had a short discussion with Josh, and he's working up a document for us. He's found a site where it's just very easy to maintain, and you can put your events out there, and it's free, but the problem with the free aspect of it is you only can hold 100 names. So he is going to research, he's supposed to be researching for me what the cost would be if we use the site as a member, and what the yearly cost is, but he hasn't got back to me. But it's really easy. I mean, people just put in the web address and say you're attending the event and how many people and their address, and it's done. So
What
it's
event?
really easy.
What do you get?
Any event we have. So like if we have the Easter event, you'll go out to the, you go out to the website. There'll be a link to it, of course, on our webpage. You'll just go out there, put your name, address, and how many adults and how many kids. Done.
That's just so people know how many hot dogs.
Right. So we have the estimate of how many people are coming, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but he's supposed to work out the figures for me for tonight's meeting, but he didn't get it done in time, so we'll probably need to wait for the next meeting. That's what that says. Status of litigation related to the function of watching the boxing match. Okay, here's what's going on. Scott Steady, the CDD attorney, is the lead attorney concerning the matter because it was the subsidiary of the CDD that was named on the petition. So protocol says that their attorney is the lead attorney. However, Dan Bilka, the HOA attorney, is one doing the negotiating. Because Dan has dealt with this individual before for several other of his clients in similar situations, okay? So Dan is doing the negotiating in concert with, of course, Scott. Where it stands now is that Dan and Scott sent him, Riley, a demand letter to produce the documentation to substantiate his claim. Because nobody can find it on the phone bill. Okay? For CDC or
Danson?
Dan Scott.
Yeah, I mean, Dan said it, Dan and Scott said it, but Dan's the one doing the negotiating, so it came out of his office. So they're waiting for the response from Riley with the documentation or whatever to substantiate his allegation in his petition before they do anything else. Okay?
Okay, I have to say, it seems to be that, is this in relation to a football game?
Boxing.
A boxing match.
Never had a boxing match here?
No, it was paid for.
3 years ago, they had an event here to watch a boxing match.
Okay.
Try it, because they got like to see a minute and a half of it, and then it went out, and they never got to see any of it. But about, was it 2 months ago? Something like that? They received a letter from the attorney who handles all that, that they violated the copyright and the payment things because they did it as personal usage as opposed to commercial use and da. So, but that's the status of the lawsuit at this moment. They're waiting for a response from the petitioning attorney to demonstrate and substantiate his claim. So that's what it says.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I've seen some documentation on this, that they're taking a shotgun approach to doing this. Does anybody have any idea how they ended up targeting us?
I was told something by the attorneys.
Well, I guess that's what his demand letter.
Because
Yeah, that's what his demand letter is going to show. Okay, he's got to demonstrate that.
You know, where'd you get the evidence?
Where'd you get the evidence? Where'd you get the documents to say that it occurred, et cetera, and that was the LLC? That's what they're demanding. Okay.
we don't know that as yet. I mean, I understand that they put a shotgun approach, they're just going with anybody that even
Right.
had anything, but why did they target Little River Bend here?
Well, I think it is known, but we're gonna wait, go through the process
That's
until
what I'm requiring.
facts will be presented.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, let's just say it that way.
So
It's not been confirmed.
So what you're including is somebody ratted us out and.
Nothing has been confirmed on this until we get the documents.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Status of
About
CDD.
4 years later, yeah.
Yeah, the status of CDD and HO maintenance and lease agreements. Okay, the maintenance of the lease agreements are signed. They were signed last week. I signed them as president of the HOA, and Steve Manafrey, the vice chair of the CDD, signed them because Jane Tingley, chair of the CDD, refused to sign them.
She give
All
a
I would
reason?
say,
She give a reason why?
nope.
Okay.
I have this nice little email. I refuse to sign these documents. Very. Okay. Matter concerning the investigative report on official duties of the police officers. Okay.
Wait, can we go back a sec?
Sure.
Do they have to be signed by somebody from the CDD?
Technically, they either be, technically, they should be signed primarily by the chair of the CDD, that's her fiduciary responsibility.
Right.
But since she refused to comply with that, then the vice chair is authorized to sign the documents.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the technical?
So is she basically standing on her own? The rest of the CDD board is okay with it? And just her?
It was a 3-2 vote. Jane and Herb voted against it. Bill, Lance, and Steve voted for it.
Okay.
She refused to sign the document. I don't know what more to tell you. I don't
Those
know.
are agreements, and somebody at both parties have to execute it. Normally, like Bob said, normally it'll be the chair of that.
So it's still legal and everything?
Oh, yeah.
It's all been
Okay.
signed,
Right.
it's all done?
Yeah, it would
But
be
there's
like-
ill feelings amongst the CDD board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It'd be like if the document had been signed and I was out of country, then Perry would sign. Because he's.
Yeah, this is totally not something different. It's not
I
out of the
know.
country.
Yeah. That's, I don't know what to say.
Okay.
investigative report of off-duty police officers. I'll let you read it while I read it. Okay. Matter of City Board Supervisor Herb Plummer not releasing security investigation report on off-duty sheriff deputies patrolling the development. Around January/February 2018, Supervisor Plummer revoked the security status of the off-duty sheriff deputies who patrol Riverbend development. This action by Supervisor Plummer was unilaterally performed without proper notification or consultation with the HOA. The HOA learned of this unilateral action by Supervisor Plummer when a sheriff's deputy attempted to use the deputy's pass to a restroom while patrolling the development and could not access the amenity center restroom. When Supervisor Plummer was asked at an HOA meeting as to why he had in effect locked out the sheriff's deputies, his response was that he was conducting an investigation concerning the off-duty sheriff's deputies and the use of their security badge. When asked about the specifics of what actions prompted his investigation, he refused to provide any information on the subject. This unilateral action of Supervisor Plummer without justification was a direct interference in the activities of the HOA. It became difficult for the HOA to obtain off-duty sheriff deputies to patrol the development, for if they could not utilize the restrooms, they didn't want to patrol the development. Since that time, numerous requests have been made by individuals in the community, other CDD board supervisors, folks, not just us, and president of the HOA to issue his report. At an open CDD board meeting on July 12, 2018, about 6 months after starting his investigation, when requested by a fellow CDD supervisor to provide his report, Supervisor Plummer stated that the report was complete and in his Dropbox. However, said report could not be found in his Dropbox. Oh, I'm sorry. Could not be found in his Dropbox. All requests to Supervisor Plummer to release the indicated complete report have been met with stall tactics and refusal to issue his report. In addition, the CDD and district management is complicit in Supervisor Plummer's refusal to comply with the legal requirements that public records requests be released per Florida statutes. As of today, August 27, the request by the HOA president for Supervisor Plummer to issue his report is yet to be complied with. This action was a serious matter since it interfered in the daily HOA operations and activities, and he is yet to substantiate his unilateral action. The board of directors are left with the following possible conclusions. One, his report is not yet complete. Okay. One, his report is not yet complete, and he was not accurate in his statement that it was complete, but as of this point in time, he has not stated as such. Or two, there never was an investigation, and his locking out of the sheriff's deputies was a guise based on other motives. Because of the seriousness of Supervisor Plummer's action, which interfered in the activities of the HOA, which at this point in time is yet to be substantiated by his refusal to issue his, as he stated, his completed report, I hereby request that the Riverbend HOA Board of Directors turn this matter over to the HOA Legal Counsel for appropriate legal disposition and action. I want to make it perfectly clear, the HOA Board of Directors is not filing a lawsuit. We are merely requesting the first step that the HOA Legal Counsel to work with the CDD attorney to force Supervisor Plummer and the CDD district/district manager to comply with the Florida statutes and provide the HOA a copy of Supervisor Plummer's investigative report. The question that each resident of this community should be asking is, why are Supervisor Plummer and the CDD district manager refusing to comply with the public records request as mandated by Florida statutes? Yes.
We open for discussion on the concern.
Yeah, let the board talk first, then we'll go to the membership.
I know this has been bounced around a lot, and it is not a laughing matter for some people. Think, well, it's just a personal whatever. It isn't. We had a CDD supervisor who asserted that the sheriff's deputies was doing something that constituted him to an investigation. He accused the HOA board president of doing something that prompted him to do an investigation. The L-Town was also accused. The HOA has a responsibility, and in fact, we have an obligation, we have a duty to see what that report is. We have a duty to see what the underlying facts of what prompted that investigation. That is not a laughing matter. And for the CDD to refuse, this particular supervisor and the CDD, the district manager, to refuse to comply with a public records request is not a laughing matter. Not at all. Okay? Now, you heard what Bob went through this. And I'm just going to ask, what reports do we have? Should we just ignore and say, okay, they don't want to give it and so forth, so we just shrug our shoulder and go on down the road? That would make us totally irresponsible. We shouldn't be setting up here. Anyone, let me finish. Anyone in this community that sees a CDD or even an HOA refusing to comply with a public records request, they should be up in arms because they cannot do that. Especially the CDD, they're a government entity. So I have one or two questions here. Does anyone from that's present here, and if anybody watching, they want to call later, they can do that too. How would you respond to this if you were sitting up here and asked for a record that a CDD supervisor has been on record, been on video, saying it is complete, and the report is filed in his Dropbox, but yet no one can find that? And I asked on July the 16th, over a month ago, still no response. Bob asked on behalf of the HOA, still no response. What would you do if you were sitting up here? Would you say, okay, they're not going to give it to us, let's just move on down the road, or would you say, give it to us? Now, the other question I have, why will the CDD not comply with that request? Like Bob said in his in summary. That should be the question. Why are they refusing to do this? Now, someone posted on Nextdoor, let me see, asserted that individuals and groups should not abuse the official records request process to harass and settle scores in their personal disagreements. There is no personal disagreements here. There are no scores to be settled. There were accusations made against the sheriff's deputies. There were accusations made against the HOA president and the L-Town. And we have every right to know professionally what happened. No personal intent there whatsoever. We have an obligation to ask that. The CDD has an obligation to comply. And if they don't, they're forcing us to spend your money, to engage an attorney to say, turn over the report. Why do we have to go to that length, spend attorney's time? If he has the report, turn it over. Okay, that's it.
I'm not a lawyer. From my experiences, your lawyer needs to make one phone call. You have publicly elected officials that may be in violation of Florida statutes. Failure to provide reports. The lawyer should contact the State Inspector General's office. Period.
That may be one of the steps. The first step is always, Dan and Scott will talk, and Dan will tell Scott, we want to see the report. But the next step will be, if Supervisor Palmer refuses, Dan will make his recommendation to the board what the next process is. Okay? I mean, it's a step by step. I mean, this all goes away if Supervisor Palmer would just issue his report. I want you to think of it this way. If you were at work and your boss asked you for a report and you told them, oh, it's done, but I'm not going to give it to you, what would happen to you?
Fired.
Bingo.
You want his boss.
But my question is, what do we get?
You are. We are.
We all are. We all are.
You remember that? He asked, go ahead.
Has the sheriff been notified that Supervisor Plummer is investigating his deputies?
I am not notified him, but I don't know if he notified the sheriff's department.
How much says going across?
Pardon?
How much is going across? Will they?
Next time, you guys can't comment.
Oh, we can't.
No, Lance and Bill cannot comment because they're both
How much
seniors.
is that going to cost the community with that investigation?
His investigation, what it cost? We have to ask Mr. Palmer how much it costs him to do his
No, so
investigation.
that's our attorney too.
I have no idea.
And what's the gains gonna be for our community to keep investigating?
The truth.
The truth, okay.
Okay? Now, let me remind you, okay, you guys don't know this.
I just want.
This will not be the
Matters,
first time
not what we-
that Scott Steady and Dan Pilga have tried to resolve legal matters concerning the actions of one Borough Plummer. If it wasn't for certain periods of time, I probably never would even talk to Dan, but they have to talk constantly to resolve issues. This is one of the many.
Anybody can call me.
I just,
So, yes.
okay, I'm concerned about reading this report is that whoever, I don't know the guy, whoever he is, he claims that there was something, that the sheriff's deputy was doing something wrong. And he's not going to allow the deputy to patrol.
Never said that.
There.
That was never.
Do you have the minutes from that?
Stop. Let me answer her question first. He already did that when he cut their access off unilaterally, and the only reason why they got it back is that Mr. Polka had made a demand to Scott Steady to stop it. This is not the first time that we're talking on this issue. Yes.
Is this report just for our benefit, or is it going to be posted online, or this part, the thing that's on the screen?
I'll put it out on the website.
I'm just asking. It says in
I'll put this on
the
the website.
It says in the thing that Borough Plummer during the HOA meeting said that.
No, we said it during the CBD meeting when Lance Bell, for a copy, he said it's complete, it's in my Dropbox.
No, scroll up. I'm sorry.
Scroll up.
There's two different things there. I think at one point it says that during the HOA meeting, he said that there was something, that the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department was being investigated.
Yeah, I asked him why he cut this, I asked him why he cut their access off. And he said he was investigating them for irregularities.
That's what we don't
No, he
say.
said the card was being used when they were not here.
Yeah, that's my.
That's what he said.
Well,
I was at that meeting.
Let me tell you this, I'm currently conducting an audit of that.
Did
and I have
you-
not yet found an
When you
irregularity.
made this up, did you listen to the minutes of that meeting?
1 second, let's stop the diversionary tactics.
I'm not diversionary tactics. This does not state what I heard at that meeting. I was there. And this, I don't think we should have a lawsuit going after somebody. I didn't hear him say.
First of all, this is not a lawsuit.
It is.
Second of all, I'm conducting an audit of those records, and I have yet to find an irregularity.
Can I speak? And let me.
I should not, what this says is not what Irv said at the meeting.
We heard you, and I respect that. But.
Do you agree with it?
I
That
respect
it isn't
that.
what he said?
Can I finish? Can I finish? Let's don't lose sight. Whatever we got, what was said and so forth, a investigation, Mr. Plummer has said that he was conducting an investigation. He has said that more times than we can say. He's also said that he has completed that investigation, which there means he confirms that there was an investigation. When he says the investigation is complete, he confirms that there was an investigation. Okay? Then he says the report is completed. The report is in my Dropbox. The only thing I ask as an individual citizen, public records request, give me a copy of that. Bob, as HOA representative, since it impacted on HOA's functions, he wanted to see what was in that report. We should do that. Mr. Plummer has already confirmed there was an investigation. He has confirmed that the report is complete. Why can he not then turn that over to us?
I can't answer that. All I can say is what you're saying here isn't true.
Well,
And that does mean
did you follow the sequence what I just said?
But forget that. Go back to the beginning. What you're saying isn't true. That is not what Irv said.
He's doing all his action.
So,
It's no matter what, it's either here or there. It's what was said at the meeting, and that is not what was said at the
Do you
meeting.
condone his actions?
I don't, you know what? I don't condone his actions or yours. I mean, go back to your actions. Where's the report of the police investigation? Where's your report? Why? We had a break-in and there wasn't anything done and you're the president? Condone those actions.
We're not on that subject. I got a statement on that one next, Frank.
Where?
It's right here.
Okay, Bob, one last statement, and
It's a witch hunt, both of you. This has been going on too long and we are tired of it.
So now you're trying to justify his
No.
actions so he doesn't have to be held
And just like we're justifying your actions and the police that come in during the major break-in,
okay.
that's all on record.
Frank, let me speak. Frank, let me speak, and then I'll go back and ask the question to this. Mr. Plummer admitted.
I don't care, go on.
You don't know.
You don't have to
He
say.
admitted there was an investigation.
I'm gonna close the discussion because we're getting nowhere.
We're getting ice when we go there.
Okay. So, my recommendation is that we should give it an go to try to resolve it.
I have no problem with that, and it's a shame that we have to spend attorney fees for a report that they said is completed, that they cannot turn it over to us. It's a shame that we have to ask an attorney to call their attorney to get that done. What Mr. Plummer needs to do is stand up and say, I made a mistake. There was no investigation, there is no report, and I'm sorry I misrepresented it. That's what he needs to stand up and say. That as long as he's going to maintain there is an investigation, there is a report, then he's obligated to give it to us.
It seems like there's a disconnect between kind of what two sides are saying. And let me just make this suggestion, because I think my issue is with your response to the premises. And I just have a question as to the actual premise. I agree with you. Look, if Irv Plummer said that there was an investigation and that he finished the investigation, that he was investigating the HDSO of the police, that he's investigating the police, and he said that his investigation is done, and that it's in his Dropbox, then he ought to provide us with that.
That's what we're going to say.
It's pretty straightforward. But let me make this suggestion. Can we go back to the HOA meeting where the no, there's two meetings, right? There's the HOA meeting where it says that during the HOA meeting, he said that he was investigating the police.
There's no audio of that.
I only know we did say that though. I heard him say, I can comment on you.
I heard him say was that.
See, the thing is,
He did not say anything about investigating the police though. He just said,
why did you take the computer access away from the University of now? This is the direct response was, I'm conducting an investigation.
Yeah, don't know that.
So
that's all he said.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's not what he said there.
It's just a matter of that. At the end of the day, he gave.
I'm closing the discussion because it's going nowhere. Because the real issue is, he walked the cops out unilaterally. He said he did an investigation, it's complete, but he's refusing to return his report over. That's the issue.
We want to report that he admitted to have been completed.
Okay.
He said the investigation is complete, the report is in my Dropbox.
Now,
the only thing we're asking for.
I don't care about all this semantics. I get tired of both sides, both ways. At the end of the day, the gentleman did something. He said he did something. Provide information. Now, if I agree. If this is wrong, I'm with you. Okay, semantics is wrong. But let's get to the issue is that something was done, and he did it.
But let's get it on what it was.
Okay. So we get wrapped up on this and not the fact that, hey, let's get to the bottom of it.
Well, I think the CFP meeting was recorded, so maybe we could just, before we decide to pay for attorney's fees, can we just have the board review the CFP?
No, because I was there and I heard him say it. And so it's failed. I'm going to ask this question. Wait. Lance, you asked the question. What was his response?
I asked
yes,
before.
you can.
It was somewhat an integral part of what I was doing based on the missing tablets and the jimmying of the locks.
No, this is not his investigation report.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was an integral, I felt it could be an integral part of what I was looking into about the missing stuff, because it was the same time period.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so if he was conducting an investigation, I asked him for that to see if it had some relevance to why the computers were tampered with, why the locks were jimmied, and why those tablets were taken. I asked him, he said it was in his Dropbox, I never got anything, so I went ahead with what I got.
He said it's on video, I'm not gonna release the video on public, but everybody wants to talk about my house. So
I thought it may have, I thought what he was doing may have had something to do with what I was looking into. Okay? But I never got it.
I'm sorry, I'm similar to Lance's.
I'm sorry?
My recollection is almost perfectly similar to Lance's. But the only thing that there's some confusion on, as far as I'm concerned, is whether he actually did a report or if all the stuff that he looked at or investigated.
Well, he said he did.
Was in
That's the problem. When this issue happened in the office, was when he said he was doing his investigation.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked him, what do you got? And he told me it's in my Dropbox. I said,
Right.
okay. I asked Debbie Huckle to get it for me. I never got anything. I never got anything. And then well, that's not true. I did get a couple of smart freaking responses, okay? Which I guess that's what I usually but I never got anything that was in any relevance to what he might have been looking into, which may have had relevance to what I was looking into, which probably had some negative effect on what I had to give to the sheriff.
If Mr. Plummer had not said that this investigation, he admitted there was an investigation, he said this investigation was complete and a report was done. If he hadn't made those utterances, we would still, we wouldn't have any concern up here. But once he said it's over with, there's a report, of course we want to see it. Those are his words at that meeting, it's on videotape. The investigation is over, the report's about the Dropbox. If that public record, that official record exists, then the HOA deserves to see it. If it does not exist, and if he misspoke, then he needs to step up and say, I misspoke, there wasn't, and then we can just move on, forget about this. But he's going to force us into attorney to attorney to try to get to the bottom of this. And that's ridiculous.
But my only thing is, if you said there was an actual report, you can do an investigation without a report. I mean, certainly Pilka investigated the most recent HOA election, but I don't think he released an actual.
But he said no
I
report.
don't disagree with you, but he said there was something. That's why I was waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to me so I can look at it, see if it's relevant, see if it's relevant to what I'm looking into.
Andrew,
And I got nothing. I got
did he ever accuse the police in that? Andrew, I want to know.
He never accused anybody of doing anything.
Other than somebody was using the keys.
All right.
During all that.
That's my point.
When the
If
police
somebody
were
was,
here. Well, this says they're accusing the police. Where does it say how it is?
And that should have been in his report, and that's what I was waiting for.
Regardless.
Right, I want to know what predicated him to lock the cops out.
Well, I can tell you. I'm pretty sure he told everyone. He said that there were badge entries.
I want to see the badge entry. No, I know that. But I want to see the badge entry dates and times, and I want them correlated to when the police were here to show it.
Sure. Or not, right?
And that's a big
Because you
one.
were field law firm, what's the evidence? He told you that's hearsay, right?
Right.
I remember it's hearsay. There's no evidence. So we're looking for evidence, that's all we're looking for. Because the security of the general public here was compromised. He locked the police up, they didn't do the patrols, okay?
He locked me out of the bathroom.
So something happened, then you're come to us and said, why wasn't there police patrols, okay? So,
He didn't.
it's plain and simple.
He didn't even ask to look at the police laws when they were here.
If Mr. Plummer had said at the CBD meeting, if Mr. Plummer had said at the CBD meeting, when you asked him the question, if he had said the investigation is completed, I found nothing to report.
Case closed.
Been over. But he said the report is in my Dropbox. When he said my report is in the Dropbox, I want to see it.
What day was that?
And let me make a completely irrelevant comment here, okay? When I was working a car, I wanted a place to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they wanted that cruiser sitting in front of their restaurant or here, and if we took issue with somebody coming in here and using that car at a time which was not appropriate, and that cruiser was sitting down and he was driving through our neighborhood, we have free protection for that time. So that shouldn't even have been an issue. But there was never an issue brought up about what time it was.
Right.
What time it was. But I would rather have that cruiser out there using our bathroom than using some other bathroom somewhere else. That was another thing I was.
Mr. strong debate, I think, so you go to CBD meeting, you ask them directly, so,
Do we just ask for a report, or do we ask for all the materials? It's all materials.
Discussion.
I asked for the report.
Oh, the report.
Yeah.
So
We're done. We're done
Questions about
discussing.
the underlying reasons and so forth, but they don't have to answer those. But when he said there is a report, I asked for that report, and that's what they're refusing to give. They're refusing to give it, in my humble opinion, because there is no report. And just admit it, there's no report.
The discussion is closed. I have a motion before the board to have Dan discuss the matter with Scott to force him to give us the report, or find out what's going on.
Who made the motion?
I make that. Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
I ask fellow members, if you vote aye, raise your hand.
What?
You can't do that.
Oh, I'm going.
What do you vote in?
It's just asking.
There's a majority said yes.
She's serious.
He's serious. Majority said yes.
Just one order, Bob, what was that about?
Well, how come that works for you? Mayor, we bring stuff to you, and 230 Chevrolet, strike it down to me.
Will raise their hand.
From now on, I can ask everybody.
You know what, right there, that's what I say.
All right. Okay. Covenant violation schedule. It's closed, Frank. Talking here, let's go on to the next subject.
Okay, go to the next subject.
Old business, covenant violation schedule and related documents. The revised APR.
It's like,
I know, it's like, okay, the revised planning criteria and all the new documents for the fine procedures and fine schedule and all of that, they've all been sent to the HOA attorney, Dan Hilda. He has them now. Once he finishes reviewing them, and hopefully he won't have too many changes, Andrew, or modifications, the board will call a special meeting to lock the documents and to establish the mailing and to establish the special hearing date for the membership, for review of the membership, for either adoption or changes. So right now, they're with the attorney. All the documents are with the attorney for review. Yeah.
Well, the DCCR said the planning criteria has the right to make the rules of the planning criteria. The ARB board has the right
Yeah,
to make
you
those
want to
rules. It
ensure-
doesn't say a word about sending it to the
You
attorney.
want to make sure they're in compliance with the state statutes and the DCCR.
And that was never ever done before.
I can solve that. The ARB voted unanimously to allow the HOA to review it and to offer it up to the attorney. So if they so desire, to make sure that we are working with synergy with all the other committees.
And to piggyback on that, Andrew, the document that you led and that the board did, it's a very comprehensive, a very good report. I think when homeowners get that, they're going to be delighted with it. And I think there's no harm to have the attorney take a glance at it.
Yeah, all we do is we just wanted to have the HOA look at it, and then if they wanted to spend money for their attorney to do it, then to let them do it. I think we can only benefit from making sure that everything that's in the planning criteria is
Compliant.
it's consistent with all the other committee's rules.
Which I think is a good idea, like Stephen's experience, despite that I've been talking about ARB stuff, we got a lot of things that are in violation of Katie fences because it was not done. Of course, had that been done at 3, we would be doing the situation over there now.
We're all committees, and we're all trying to make it. Everyone's in every one of these committees, and we just want to make sure that all of us are working in harmony, so that everyone has consistent information, that they can rely on it, knowing that they're in good shape. That's all.
Okay, so that's where that stands. I'll let you know when we get it back and how many reference lines there are. Okay, committee reports, ARD. Oh, were there any other questions on that? I'm sorry. Okay, ARD.
All right, your planning criteria in advance, we are just looking at some applications, very few applications, because it's hot and no one wants to do work unless they're paying somebody else to do it. Other than that, we're looking at just making sure that we're on top of all of our inspections. So if you have an application, you do some work, let us know. If you need more time, let us know. And if you have us come by and say hello, just know that we're just making sure that everything's in good shape and say hello. We're all very friendly. That's all I've got.
Okay. FRC, nobody's here from the FRC.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm sorry. Every other you just slapping back.
We gave extensions to some people. We had a pretty full meeting. We fined some people and we're just waiting for the updated FRC violations to move forward. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Social committee.
Nothing's been done this past month. Our next event is Halloween.
Halloween. Okay. David, welcome committee.
I contacted 2 families this month.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Okay, public forums / comments from members.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah.
This is another tit for tat, answer, whatever you want to call it, on next door. Somebody took a letter from my attorney when I had the dispute with the association. The 2 members were not following the governing documents and so forth. They took that and posted it on next door. I have absolutely no problem with that. Nothing in there that I'm embarrassed about. But what I am concerned about is this notion, and starting to weave this around, conflict of interest. Is this the DANCOPA? Is that the same one that the HOA has? Is it conflict of interest? There is no conflict of interest. Phil Holloway did not ask him to come here and be this attorney. One, it takes 5 votes to do that. DANCOPA represents Ameritech, all of their property. And they're the one that suggested DANCOPA. I did not know Ameritech. I did not know the relationship with DANCOPA and that Ameritech. When I went to DANCOPA, I just got just a luck of the draw. I got a good attorney. I had nothing to do with him coming here. Ameritech brought him here.
Well, let me go with more detail into that. That was me suggesting that Dan be interviewed by the board. And the reason why I suggested Dan be interviewed by the board, and I'm going to say it this way. You got a baseball game, okay? Pitcher for Team A throws no hitter against Team B. Team B doesn't go death wish against the pitcher from Team A. The owner of Team B says, I want that pitcher on my team to throw me no hitters. And that's what's happening. DANCOPA has a close working relationship with Ameritech. Ameritech has quite a few HOAs and he's attorney for some of these, okay? And they have a very good working relationship, so if things occur, they just know what each other want. Second, he has an excellent working relationship with the CDD attorney, Scott Stead. They've had to talk numerous times to resolve legal issues concerning a certain CDD board supervisor, okay? Also, they're working very close together to resolve this issue on the boxing match, okay? 3, he's been doing it for over 30 years. He just knows his stuff. The previous HOA attorney, while she was okay, I don't know about the rest of the board, I got tired of seeing bills for research on legal matters, HOA legal matters. I pick up the phone, I ask Dan, I got the answer. 4, his collection department does very well in getting past due amounts from HOA homeowners, which you all should like because it keeps your dues down. They're doing a much better job than Manning was, okay? And 5, I hate to say it this way, but when it comes to litigation, he's a pit bull and he gets his clients what he wants. So in business, it doesn't matter how you come across somebody and find out about somebody who's good. All you know that he's good and you want him on your team. And that's what it is.
Well, I want to say that the insinuating that I had something to do and I was the various conflicts of interest, that is just evil to get out there and spin it that way. Okay?
My business example is that the last corporation I worked for, they lost $100 million lawsuit. 3 days later, that firm that won it was newly impounded for that law firm. All right? Well, yeah, you go, they gotta get the job done. Okay, all right, so now, let's go to the public forum comment for members. Can I have the list of the names, please? All right, Steve.
Yeah, my question's been answered, I'm good.
Okay, sounds good. Lance.
Okay, I got 2 items, I'm gonna keep this under 3 minutes, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's some people here that do not come to the CDD meeting. I think it's salient to point out, and you did not point this out with the CDD and the HOA agreement, maintenance and lease agreement, that it saved the residents 9.5% increase in their O&Ms.
Yeah.
It was proposed this year, plus a likely increase in their HOA dues, that you guys are gonna have to move off property, which would have required you to rent separate property, which probably would have increased your HOA.
We did our best to try to keep it.
Yes, but there's still a lot of animosity about that, and it's very unfortunate. Okay, secondarily, I'm gonna really go off the wall here and ask some cooperation from Nextdoor and Facebook, okay, to adjust from your usual routine. I have, after some difficulty, garnered some relationship with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and the community. This month, we have had 2 residential burglaries and 2 car break-ins. They're really not break-ins, okay? What they are is people do not lock their cars. What I would request is to be, rather than, finding fault constantly, to maybe go on there and encourage people when they pull their, understand that I did this 20 years ago, okay? I did it 15 years ago before I retired, telling people to shut their garage doors. I used to send out reserve deputies to tell them to shut their garage doors and lock your cars and stuff, okay? But it would be really nice if the Nextdoor and Facebook could encourage people to go on there and say, please, when you park your car in the driveway at night, take your valuables out, don't leave laptops sitting on the front seat, don't leave your purse, please lock your cars, please close the garage door, and if you're going to leave your house for any period of time, have somebody watch it, or call the sheriff's office and have them do a safety check. In addition, okay, I've been around in this neighborhood all hours of days and nights. There are people coming in and out of here 24 hours a day. If residents see juveniles or young adults wandering through the neighborhood with backpacks at odd hours, they should call the sheriff's office. Okay, that's what they're looking for. 2 or 3 juveniles or young adults walking around the neighborhood at odd hours, usually, what have I got here? Here's one from 1 a.m. to 2:35 a.m. One of the cars was broken into. And it's 6 a.m. It's different times. 11 a.m. to 6 a.m. Different times. But if residents are driving in and out of here, they should notify the sheriff's office that they're seeing kids walking through here at these odd hours and they got backpacks. Okay? If you could do that, it could help the residents.
So it took me 3.5 minutes.
10 p.m. to
Was it 3.5 minutes?
4 a.m.
It's just different times, but it's always after midnight.
After midnight, it's probably
Yeah.
When I had the camera view of the kid jiggling my daughter's car door to see if it was open or not, Jane Tingley and I worked and found out who this kid was, and he lived in River Bend. He was 16. We called the sheriff's department, we talked to the sheriff's department, and their comment was, yes, we know him well, he's a juvenile. The only thing that will happen is they'll bring him in, they'll hold him till his mother comes for 48 hours, and the judge does nothing because he's a juvenile.
Were they renters?
No, they're not renters. So this is kind of,
But that's what it's not.
I arrested crap load of people. Nothing happened.
No, I'm just telling
That
you.
never stopped me. That never stopped me from arresting the next guy.
I'm just telling you what they told me.
My job was to take him down and put him in a hole.
Okay,
But the
but
judge
they
didn't
wouldn't
know.
even do that.
And you know what? The next time I did it, you know what I tell them? Sooner or later, one of these days, something's gonna happen to you.
But they didn't do it.
Sheriff,
Sorry, I'm just telling you
no,
what
I can't
happened with
dispute that.
this.
I do not dispute that. It's,
We can add
it's very difficult.
sheriff department next door, and they can send the messages directly to us. It's like Harrisburg County is on it. They can only send, they cannot see what is happening, but they can join next door, and every time it's something, they have direct.
In addition, I talked to the president here, and we're adjusting some of the times that deputies will be in here, okay, to try to alleviate this. But the best way of alleviating it is to lock your freaking car doors. You know, so.
It's my plan.
What's the legality of putting our face under
It's
there?
come out.
I don't know, I can check with Dan.
Blasting them if you can't really arrest them.
I put his face on Facebook next door, so.
Yeah, that would be.
It's like a wall of shame outside.
Well, there's a difference between Judy putting it out there and the board putting it out there.
I just want to ask you now if I could. I had a similar situation, like what Judy was saying, only where a young man attempted to run me over after a fight between two girls. And the sheriff came, the deputy absolutely did nothing. I made a call an hour later to Hillsborough County and asked to speak to a supervisor or whoever was head there. Within an hour, that deputy and that supervisor were at my door, apologized, and went out and did some investigation. So sometimes you need to make that second step.
Like I said, Frank, I got a contact over there, okay?
Okay, and I'm gonna do something here.
Hopefully it'll work.
I'm gonna close the meeting and you guys can keep talking.
I'm done. I will record it.
I thought you were going on.
They said other comments,
What
Bob.
happened to the story you're going to tell us about?
What are we gonna do?
I'll leave it.
Incident report. 2 criminal acts were committed, not just one. The incident report that was filed related to 2 criminal acts that occurred. 1, the first criminal act that was reported on the incident report related to the tampering of the CDD computer software. The current CDD board supervisor responsible for security while conducting a review of the CDD system with the vendor discovered that the software had been tampered with. An unauthorized attempt to change the software was discovered. The system was not hacked into, and thus could only have been attempted by an individual who had access to the system and appears to have been attempted via remote access, and thus there were 2 suspects with this capability. 2, while the current CDD board supervisor was reporting the criminal application of the CDD software, I requested if he could also have the incident that occurred concerning the HO file cabinets placed on the incident report, for I had attempted numerous times to have an incident report filed, but the sheriff's department would not file one. The facts involving this criminal act, which are reported for the membership in June at the 2018 board meeting, are as follows. On or around 1/29/18, 2 HOA file cabinets were broken into. These file cabinets contained office supplies and business documents. There were several items stolen as well. The office was not broken into, so said act was committed by an individual who had access to the office. There were 2 suspects with this capability. The act was discovered on Monday, 1/29/18, and since the file cabinets were not broken into the previous Friday, the act was committed sometime over the weekend. The cabinets that were broken into are the 2 cabinets behind the LCAM's desk. I attempted over the following months, but as I indicated, the Sheriff's Department did not want to file an incident. I'll paraphrase. They had bigger fish to fry when we bothered with them. Okay. There were more concerns in solving major criminal acts, murders, rapes, and other violent crimes. There were 2 suspects concerning this act. There were 2 suspects with this capability. The Sheriff's Department investigation concerning these 2 criminal acts didn't even occur. The investigating officer did not contact any of the individuals, witnesses, or suspects concerning the acts. He closed the case according to what I was told because of insufficient evidence to warrant charges to be filed. However, while the investigation was open, a CD board supervisor contacted the investigating officer 3 times requesting information concerning the investigation, and a Riverbend resident contacted the investigating officer attempting filing information. According to the investigating officer, he did not release any information concerning the criminal acts of these individuals. Thus, any statements made by any individuals concerning the investigation, according to the investigating officer, were non-corroborative and only statements of speculation.
What is this?
That isn't a police report. That's the investigation. That's what occurred. That's what you wanted to know? That's what occurred. Case closed by police officer, insufficient evidence of 1 charge.
Who's the investigating officer?
Lance, what's the other one? I got it wrong. He didn't even investigate it. Guys,
When was it reported?
huh?
When was it reported?
First time I reported was the 29th, but they wouldn't take an incident report. And I tried several times after that. Guys, 2 cabinets got busted into, some minor stuff got shown. They didn't want anything to do with it. They had bigger stuff to do. Proof of it is.
Herb is doing his own report on this investigation?
That wasn't part of it, and we're start adding.
The same thing is that the CBD criminal report was the person in charge of security. It wasn't until after Lance became in charge of security that it was discovered that there was a criminal activity with the software.
It's stated that no, there was no break-in.
Yes, there was no break-in.
No break-in.
That's the thing. Whoever did this stuff had access to the center.
Is the comment?
If the cabinets were open, it was
Break-in, I think, a bathroom.
I think there might be some technical right.
Huh?
I talked to the deputies. Anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion that the meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Once again,